Bezrat Hashem, the Gemara this morning, Menachot, page 99b. Tanya Rabbi Yossi Omer. Rabbi Yossi is teaching us, Afilu silek et ha'yeshana shachrit, v'sider et ha'chadasha arvit, en bekach klum. So Rabbi Yossi this morning is speaking about the 12 breads that used to have in the temple. Every Friday in the morning, they would bake 12 special breads. The breads had the form of the letter U. And that's why we call those breads lechem hapanim. Hapanim, which means if you take a loaf of bread and you put it in front of your eyes and somebody is just in front of you, you cannot see him because the loaf of bread is blocking you from seeing the other person in front of you. But the bread of Bet HaMikdash, the 12 breads of Bet HaMikdash, were in the shape of the letter U. And the letter U is open. So even if you put a loaf in front of your head, in front of your face, you will be able to see the other person in front of you. And that's why it's called panim. Lechem hapanim. You are able to see the face of the person standing in front of you. This was a specialty of a certain family in Bet HaMikdash that used to bake this bread, and they would make 12 every Friday morning. They would take it out of the oven, keep it till let it cool off till Shabbat morning. Shabbat morning, the Kohanim would come and they would take the new breads and they would change the breads that were there on the table already for a whole week, 9 days to be more precise, and they would place the new breads. So now, the bread was placed from Shabbat to Shabbat, right? Baked on Friday, put on Shabbat, stays another Shabbat. So from Shabbat to Shabbat is 8 days, plus on Friday it was baked 9 days. Now, there was a miracle that those breads stayed hot, boiling hot. You can see the steam coming out of them the whole week, the whole 9 days. And that was one of the miracles that the Kohanim would show the people who would come to Bet HaMikdash on the 3 high holidays, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. They would show them the breads, this miracle, 1 out of 10 miracles that happened every day, every week in the Bet HaMikdash. Now, the Torah tells us, Lechem panim lefanai tamid. This bread should be always on the table. When you say always on the table, it means there's no interruptions, right? So it says, Rabbi Yossi says, by changing the breads, taking off the old breads and putting on the new breads, for sure there's few minutes when the table is empty. You have to take off 12 loaves of breads, right? Which are stocked up, one on top of the other, 6 on one side and 6 on the other side. The time to take off the 12 breads, for sure there's going to be 4, 5, 6 minutes where the table is empty. So how do I'm accomplishing the pasuk which says tamid? So says Rabbi Yossi, en bekach klum. There's not the end of the world. Why? Manim kem tamid shelo yalin shulchan belo lechem. Tamid, which means always should be their bread. But for few minutes, it's not the end of the world. And the Chachamim is learning from the words of Rabbi Yossi, midvarav she Rabbi Yossi nilmod. So we're learning from here, afilu lo shana adam ela perek echad shachrit uperek echad arvit kiyem mitzvat lo yamush sefer haTorah ze mipicha. There's another mitzvah. There's a mitzvah lo yamush sefer haTorah ze mipicha ve'agita bo yomam v'layla. You should not stop learning Torah from morning till night. So according to Rabbi Yossi, it says tamid, and it says as long as there bread over there, it's good enough. Same thing when the Torah says you're supposed to learn a whole day. If you learn a little bit in the morning and you learn a little bit of the night, it's considered as if you learned the whole day. To teach you, even if you're a working person and you have to go and bring your parnasah home, it does not say that you don't have to learn. Right after the prayer, you put your tefillin on, take a mishnah, take a halacha, 2 halachot. Take 2 halachot. Take something simple and learn it. Take 10 minutes of your time before you start a day charged and full of sometimes problems, sometimes solving problems, sometimes dealing with people. Instead of that, get Olam Haba for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sit there and learn something, and then you're ready to attack your day. You go, you eat a good breakfast as we learned, and then you go for the day. You're coming back home. Yes, you're tired. You want to take a shower. You're going to go to bed, right? But before going to bed, learn a Mishnah, learn 5 minutes of something, right? And this will be considered for you as if you learned the whole day, as long as you know a bit in the morning, a little bit at night. רבי יוחנן, משום רבי שמעון בר יוחאי אומר, אפילו לא קרא אדם אלא קריאת שמע שחרית וערבית, קיים לא ימוש. Even by reading קריאת שמע, it's considered as if you learned. But the Gemara says, ודבר זה אסור לאמרו בפני עם הארץ. Don't tell it to an ignorant, because an ignorant is going to say, oh, so I don't have to learn. I'll do my prayer in the morning, I'll do my prayer at night, I say Shema in the morning, I say Shema at night, and I don't have to learn. Okay, so let's say it's true that if you say Shema in the morning and night, it's like if you learned the whole day, but at the end of the day, you are an ignorant, which means you won't know what to do in certain circumstances, in certain situations, right? And if your son is going to ask you a question, or your grandson is going to ask you a question, he says, Abba, Saba, what does it mean? Oh, I don't know, I didn't learn. How are you going to look in his eyes? You're going to look very bad in his eyes. You should learn, you know why? Even if you don't like learning, you should learn למען תגיד לבנך, to know how to answer your son, or לבן בנך, or to answer your grandson. This is the biggest pleasure. When your son or your grandson ask you a question, you'll be able to answer them. Have a great day. ברוך ה' לעולם. Amen ואמן.